Good morning to you. So the UK economy unexpectedly grew by 0.1% at the end of last year. This is according to the figures that we've just got out today in the last hour and a half this morning.
Yeah, Ben is at a tea factory in Newcastle for us. And Ben, morning to you. You've been explaining quite how businesses felt at the end of last year, and this figure sort of reinforces that, doesn't it?
Yes, we're at this tea factory at Ringtons in Newcastle. This is the tea being bagged up to make sure it's nice and fresh by the time you're putting the kettle on. And that machine there is where they actually bag the individual tea bags up. 2,000 a minute is how many they can do. And you know what, economic growth is about getting things like that number higher. Not just making more, but selling more. And that's what we're talking about this morning, because we found out today that the UK economy as a whole grew by 0.1% in the 3 months from October to December. Now, that's better than had been expected. It had been expected that the economy was shrinking at the end of last year, so a little bit of growth is a good thing. Looking ahead, the Bank of England is forecasting growth over this year, but of 0.75%, half what it was previously forecasting. And the other thing that the Bank of England is pointing out is that price pressures could return. It's expecting inflation to nudge back up to 3.7%, up from the current level of 2.5%. You can see the rest of the process here. Phil is putting the tea into the boxes, ready for it to be taken out and sold to customers. Let's get a picture of how the economy is doing. We've got Mohammed here from Experience. Mohammed, we heard that 0.1% growth in the 3 months at the end of last year. People are getting so excited about it, but at home they may be wondering, why is 0.1% such a big deal?
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Well, as already been mentioned this morning, 0.1% growth is better than what many were expecting. And so why is that important? Well, if we actually look at that 0.1%, it's showing that there's underlying resilience and robustness to the UK economy. And as we move into 2025, actually seeing the economy continue to grow and look forward, it's a much better base to build off.
OK. What would get the economy growing, as the Chancellor has said is her priority?
So the Chancellor has already announced some measures, especially around infrastructure. Just yesterday, we saw the CEO of Heathrow talking about his ambition to have that third runway up and running by the end of the next Parliament. What we're also going to be looking towards is that house building measures from the government. And finally, as we move into the rest of 2025, it's all about what's going to happen for the consumers, what's going to happen on interest rates, how many cuts are we going to see. For the government, it's about giving certainty and confidence to business. OK,
Mohammed, thank you very much. The problem is production actually slowed down. It's one of the sections of the economy that slowed down at the end of the last year. That's reflective of businesses perhaps like this one. We've got Colin, who is the 4th generation to run the business, and Nadia, who is the 5th generation. Colin, what is holding back growth in a place like this?
So, of course, Ben, we all want to see the economy grow. We all want to see public services improve. But the tax hikes that are coming in April, I think it's the single biggest tax on business I've seen in my 45 years in the business. And we're now having to put 40% of our profit aside in order to meet those tax obligations.
So out of every £100 of profit you make, you're now having set aside £40 of that 100 to cover the extra costs?
Yes,
okay.
That's right.
Well, very soon it won't be your problem to worry about. It will be Nadia's problem as the 5th generation. That is quite a hefty cost to absorb. How much is that affecting your plans to grow the business?
It's significantly affecting our plans. We're a strong and resilient business. We've survived 2 world wars, and so we'll ride through this, but it's causing a lot of challenges. We have a 5-year strategy. I joined the business because I believe in its potential to grow, and now it's hindering our growth. We're having to really scale back our ambitions and our 5-year strategy. We will have to, yes. So.
Yeah. I mean, the Chancellor may be listening to you this morning thinking, but I want businesses like this to grow. What could she do that would encourage that?
Slow down. Give us time to pivot. Give us the clarity of the packaging charges so we understand what's coming, so we can plan how to absorb the costs and how to evolve our business in a considered way. We have had 5 months since the budget. It's just not enough time to front the burden of these costs and be able to evolve our business for growth in the right way. It's too soon.
OK. It could not have been put more clearly. Thank you, Nadia. Thank you, Colin. Thank you to you both. And this is an illustration of why economic growth matters. Places like this, if they invest, they hire more staff. They invest in machinery, Ultimately, they hope they can sell more to customers. It all has a very positive effect. That is why 0.1% may not sound a huge amount of growth, but it's why everyone's getting very excited about some growth.
Yeah, it's a really important clarification, isn't it, there, Ben? Thank you for talking us through that. Thanks very much.